Hey, and welcome to another edition of Comics You Smell Good from Zanadu Comics in Seattle. And it's also Happy Rebirth Day!
Happy Rebirth Day to you! DC.
Yeah, so,
What, like the shoes?
It's not a reboot!
Exactly.
It's not a reboot. Are the birth pains, are they hard? Do they hurt?
The first big, huge chapter of Rebirth, we're going to be getting to that in a minute. But before we do, we're going to talk about the last two. Thank you very much, lovely assistant there. The last two big issues of the New 52 era kind of brings it all to the end. This is Justice League. It is the final showdown in the Dark Side War that had all kinds of cool stuff. New 52 Superman kind of got his powers back, but then it was a big price, and it was all about Darkseid's daughter and the death and rebirth of Apocalypse. I mean,
Apocalypse.
Darkseid on Planet Apocalypse. A new role for Lex
difference.
Luthor. Big secrets. Lots of cool stuff that happens in this. Lots of showdowns and a lot of stuff involving kind of setting you up for what happens in the New 52. And also, Peter Tomasi is wrapping up things on the New 52 Superman because he's also the writer on the new Superman book, which I'm really excited about. But this is it. This is the final of the New 52 Superman. His final showdown in the final days. There's this super enemy out there. You know, there's all kinds of stuff with his powers, but this is one big showdown here. It brought back Supergirl in it. It kind of sets up some stuff for Lois Lane and all the Superman family and Lex Luthor. And once again, the last two chapters of the New 52, they kind of wrap things up for that era and kind of sets up for Rebirth, which we're going to talk about in a little bit later. The book that made me start like screaming in the store.
Yeah, both of these, though, are highly important, apparently, to the Rebirth, and even on the first page, it's like, read these issues first. So, you know, clearly you should always listen to Dan Didio and Jim Lee. Speaking of, you want to roll right into that?
Oh, the horror.
Okay.
The horror.
Well, Jim Lee has done something very, very strange to my childhood here. No, I didn't just discover some repressed memories. He has rebooted Scooby-Doo.
You sure it wasn't
into
Rebirth?
Scooby Apocalypse. No, this is definitely a reboot.
Okay.
Definitely
All right.
a reboot.
All right.
See, we know how these things work around here.
Okay.
At least I do.
Alright, I have no idea what was on here.
They've reinvented the Scooby Gang as a team of apocalyptic monster hunter, ghost hunter, exorcist, super scientists. I don't even understand. Like, Velma's a professor, apparently, and I think only Fred and Daphne actually know each other, and then Shaggy has a curly mustache, and he looks like someone that I would want to punch on the street.
And he's chiseled.
Yeah, he's real chiseled. Like, Howard Porter is drawing him exactly like Green Arrow. It's terrifying.
Yeah. He'd be working at a Seattle coffee shop, probably.
He would be working at a Seattle coffee shop.
You do see the origin of Scooby-Doo and his weird, like, emoji harness here, though. It's a pretty brutal origin, honestly. I don't know. I'm curious about this, though. Like, I'm not totally writing it off as, oh, he's changing something that I liked as a little kid. I'm gonna cry about it.
Wow, are you sure that isn't Green Arrow?
I'm pretty sure it is
You
Green
sure
Arrow. Like,
Oliver
honestly,
Queen is not in this comic?
the goatee, he's got the goatee that Oliver's been missing this whole time.
And it is the funny Justice League team, though, Giffen and DeMatteis, joined by Howard Porter, who, they've been doing a good job on Justice League 3001, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's been a riot of a book. Honestly, if you told me 2 years ago that Giffen and DeMatteis had a Scooby-Doo book coming up, I would be sold. And then you'd show me Jim Lee, and I would be kind of less sold. But
Yeah, kinda
then you'd show me Howard Porter, and I'd be like, nice. So it's nice. It's cool.
Speaking of fuzzy things and apocalyptic wars, Squirrel Warriors, Volume 2. Yes, that's right, Squirrel Warriors. You heard me, Squirrel Warriors. And this is the second series, which means it was popular enough to even get to second series. Forget Mouse Guard, forget Redwall. This is the real frontline furry attack here going on. You not only have squirrels, but you have cats. And cats sell lots of comic books. Cats are always good to have in comic books. And these squirrels, I gotta tell you, are kind of worse for wear. They look pretty gritty and pretty vicious. They ride possums. In fact, they ride possums and badgers. Are you not sold yet? I mean, really, come on now. Yeah.
That's some crazy shit.
Art by Ashley Witter, written by Ash Moxo. Devil's Due Publishing. This one definitely went under the radar the first time. We got a bunch of these number ones in, and we do have the first collection. So, you know, get your fuzzy war on thing here going on. Yeah, Squirrel Warriors.
Squirrels.
No, it's fucking great.
I've got Steve Rogers, Captain America #1. This is coming out of all the big events with Avenger Standoff and Pleasant Hill. Steve Rogers is back to full power. He's young again, and he's got a new shield, he's got a new costume, new attitude, and he is fighting a resurgent Hydra. And it's really interesting. I don't know if Nick Spencer's trying to do this on purpose, but there's something about what he's doing with Red Skull and Hydra that's very much captures what you might say is going on in American politics in a way.
What do you mean you don't know if he's doing it on purpose?
Anyway, it's
Are
really
you kidding
cool.
me? Have you read any of his comics in the last, 5 years?
Of course he is. So anyway, it's Red Skull. He's not the whole, cosmic, all that kind of crazy stuff. He's back to just being...
Well, he lost his Professor X.
I'm pretty sure
brain?
he's still got mind control.
He does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, that's
Anyway.
wow.
Well, you've got Red Skull, you've got Sin, you've got Zemo, and you've got Hydra back. But Captain America, he's got Rick Jones back with him. Really cool. So I'm really excited to see what Nick Spencer and Jesus Saiz does with the new Steve Rogers series.
Not to mention, he's also got Jack Flag with him,
Yeah.
as Nick Spencer is the only
Hell
person
yeah.
that remembers Jack Flag.
Yeah.
He was on the Thunderbolts and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And he's got that horrible mask, that grifter mask.
Yeah, it's great! And the red, white, and blue hair. Beautiful.
Maybe Wildstorm does. No, that's the wrong company, isn't it?
Woo-wee. Is that me then?
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
man, I don't even know what's going on this week.
Ooh,
I've got another Marvel number one
I'm excited
here.
for this one.
Amazing package right here. Nighthawk number 1. Terrifying cover by Dennis Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz. Written by David F. Walker, who's done Shaft. He's doing this new Power Man Iron Fist series, which has been great so far. And it's drawn by Ramon Villalobos, who, if you don't know, is pretty much the coolest comic artist on the whole internet. He draws sneakers better than just about anyone ever.
His sneaker game is so tight. It's
Marvel straight up let him throw a pair of Yeezys over Nighthawk spandex. It's amazing. It really is. You've got these really crazy neon Technicolor thing going on. Who's doing colors on this? Tom Rabonvillon, who's really great.
And Villalobos also did the art on that really cool Secret Wars XMen that kind of was the Grant Morrison era.
Yeah.
The
That's
E is
really
for
good,
Extinction.
too.
Yeah.
For Extinction.
And beyond having great art, it's looking like this is going to be a really interesting story, too. He takes down, a gang of white supremacists in the first 5 pages, and then you've got a sort of, the Wire type feel of him dealing with the Chicago police and everything. You really get a lot of, good action in and out of the mask in a way that seems like it really matters.
This is another one of the heroes from the Squadron Supreme who kind of reborn in Secret Wars and who are really, getting a lot. Hyperion's got a book. You get a book, you get a book, you get a book.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much.
They did that before. They gave Straczynski that whole run with Gary Frank. That actually was not bad. From Valiant Comics, we have Divinity number 2. This first issue sold out like crazy. This is very cool Cold War stylings, Russian super science gone wrong, Russian god power thing. Basically, and I really am all about this issue because there's another character named Ninjak, who I always thought was Ninjak. And I even corrected a customer who called him Ninja K. I was wrong. You know why? Because there's Ninja L. That's right, Ninja L is in this. That is freaking awesome right there. But basically, yeah, this is the second series. The main character that you saw in the first one has returned and is basically kind of like this all-power, omniscient god thing. And his kind of almost like sister type of thing, his god sister type of deal, has gone through the same change in powers, but she is straight up Russian propaganda style, killing people, wasting people. So him and some of the other heroes from Valiant have to put a stop to it, including Ninja L, who doesn't last as long as I want to. But anyway, really great stuff from Valiant. This is Matt Kinn and Trevor Hairsine. Very cool.
My next pick is the latest chapter of Extraordinary X-Men Apocalypse Wars. Hey, X-Men Apocalypse is in theaters this weekend, but if you want to get a whole different kind of take on what's going on with X-Men and the Apocalypse, you could check out this latest issue, Apocalypse Wars. So, as you know, the state of the X-Men right now, they're being attacked by the Terrigen Mist, which turns humans into Inhumans, once attacking and killing mutant DNA. So, they end up going into this weird future where Apocalypse, and it's the craziest, I think I said this last time, it's like, about Jeff Lemire, I commend you because I've seen a lot of future alternate histories and alternate futures, and he had a really twisted new take on it and one of the craziest 4 horsemen of the apocalypse I've ever seen. Even crazier than the one that's in the movie, I think. And so they're in the future trying to, save the mutant race in the future that will help in the past, and Apocalypse is involved. And plus, there's this other cool storyline. Jeff Lemire said one of his favorite characters is Magic, one of his favorite X-Men. Thanks to Brian Bendis in the last issue, I am now a huge Magic fan. And this is segueing into Kingdom's Fall, which is the next big arc. And it involves Magic and the young mutant they rescued in the first issue. So a lot of cool stuff happening. Jeff Lemire and Humberto Ramos is back on this issue as well. Crazy new issue of Apocalypse Wars. This one's called A Mega World. So check it out.
So we're going to go from a book about mutants to a book about teenage characters who are born with abilities that no one else has and are thus ostracized from them.
What?
You mean the X-Men?
No,
You mean
they're not
Inhumans?
like us.
Oh, my bad.
Eric
Okay.
Stevenson's the X-Men.
Oh,
Obviously.
okay.
A much better high-class version from Image. Because, Image has got the good stuff. We got this nice matte finish on the trades here. Does Marvel have that? No, they don't.
That's because Marvel's cheap. I'm gonna say that out loud again. You're cheap.
I didn't
Cheap.
say any of that.
Like
The
I was
comics
saying,
rip.
though, They're Not Like Us is back with a second volume today. The first volume was amazing. I, binge read that whole thing as soon as I bought it, and it was, maybe an hour. Really, really solid stuff. You're going to tear through it, and you're going to want the new issues. Eric Stevens has been doing a great job, not just heading Image, as a company, but also writing a lot of comics for them. He was doing Nowhere Men, which is still actually coming out again. Which is kind of his take on Fantastic Four, and this is him doing the same thing sort of with the X-Men concept. And Simon Gain has been drawing it, who did the Vinyl Underground, right?
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah, for Vertigo. Yep.
And he just does a great job making these characters all feel like real people. It does a great job with clothes, hair, all that, and then just conveying emotions through his art. It makes for a really, really good package, all in all.
And speaking of Image, the next issue of Image Plus, Marvel's premier preview magazine, featuring the new Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips crime book, because what else would they do? And as well as a whole host of other stuff, including Jonathan Hickman's new book, a great interview between Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey about what it is that makes their stuff so magical. And what my absolute favorite things in here is Prince of Cats by Mr. Ron Wimberly is coming back, and you get 6 full-sized awesome pages of this really great out-of-print book that should always have been in print. But yes, we're getting a new hardcover from that, and all sorts of cool stuff. This is a $2 or free with purchase of the previews.
My final pick is Mockingbird, the latest chapter number 3. Here's the thing. Mockingbird, she was awesome with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then she was in a pilot for one thing, Marvel's Most Wanted. ABC didn't pick it up, sigh, but you can see some great adventures of Bobby Morse here. This is a lot of fun. Chelsea Kane, she did the one-shot last year, and they gave her this series, and it's a blast. It's a lot of fun. It's all about Mockingbird. She was exposed to a variety of things that kind of give her powers. So there's all these medical shield files on us. So she's been doing this real thing where it all started with a shield, like a doctor's clinic, run by S.H.I.E.L.D. for superheroes and villains who come in and get checked in. You got Hulk in the waiting room, and they're reading their
They put Night Nurse out of
magazines.
business?
Huh?
They put Night Nurse out of business?
Well, this is more like,
No, she's actually in Daredevil this week.
yeah.
Oh,
The
She kinda-
synergy with
yeah.
the MCU.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So she's had a lot of fun, and like I said, Chelsea Kane does a lot of fun. These are almost like, it kind of continues, but it's also one fun story. And the last one was, Bobby broke into kind of a Hellfire Club, a kinky kind of what Hellfire Club really is. Not a thing for evil mutants, but kind of a sex club kind of thing. And that was kind of a blast. So it's kind of fun blast, and I love Kate Nimesic.
Yeah, we can't say that.
I can't say your last name, but I will say this. I love your art. You're a lot of fun, and a great fit if you're a big fan of Mockingbird. Great fun solo stories, kind of like the underside of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Alright, and my last issue here is the last issue
Ever.
of Luther Strode.
Ever.
The third series in the saga of Luther Strode, the Legacy of Luther Strode. The Legend was the last one. This is the Legacy. Issue 6, the final showdown between Luther and Cain. Literally the first murderer, like Cain out of the Bible Cain, versus Luther Strode, the 7-foot tall blonde Superman nerd.
It gets bigger every issue.
Yes, every single issue. And I like how he started the series with, like, all white outfit, and now it's just totally bloodstained, like, red from head to toe.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
This is, it's a series we've been talking about since the very first days of Comics Should Smell Good.
Yeah.
Pretty much the best thing Image has ever put out, ever. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Sorry, Prophet. Sorry, Wicked and the Divine. Sorry, Saga. No, Strode. Nothing beats Strode.
That's right.
It's just how it is.
That's right. And my final pick from Magnetic Press, putting out more amazing Euro stuff. This is Claw. Imagine Calvin and Hobbes, except with were-tigers. That's right, were-tigers. Giant, evil were-tigers and good were-tigers that are involved in a centuries-old war, and this poor kid gets kind of strung up into it. He's just trying to go to school, he's just trying to be a kid, and then he finds out he has to fight frickin' were-tigers hand-to-hand. That's kind of intense. Great art, amazing colors on this, really, just fun, adventurous kind of storytelling. Almost reminds me a little Bengalish. But yeah, Hurion and Ozanem, really great stuff. Only $25, and yeah, definitely cool. And the last book.
Our final pick together. It takes all three of us. It's like a trinity, just like the Trinity in DC Comics.
It's like there's 3 hourglasses on the cover.
Oh! DC
Wait, who gets
Universe.
to be Wonder Woman then?
I'll do it.
All right.
I'm not afraid.
I wanted to be Wonder Woman. What?
Okay, you got it. I'm Big Barda. So, okay, enough of that. So, DC Universe is here. Jeff Johns, he kind of like writes this big mega issue that sets the stage for Rebirth. Don't go on the internet.
You already probably did.
You're already on the internet right now.
They are literally on the internet.
Well, come in here and read this first, because then you can do what I did as I've been reading in the final page, and literally I was like, oh! I was like literally like losing my mind.
It was wild. I was sitting right in front of him.
Yeah,
I was terrified.
So there is definitely a really cool moment in there. An old school hero comes back, and it kind of ties into stuff that happened in Flashpoint. You know, something that's already been teased is the whole thing with Batman and the Joker. That's kind of developed a little bit more. The stuff with Superman. I'm really excited about what they're going to be doing with Wonder Woman and the big mystery about her past. What's going to be in the Great Rucka series. Yeah. You're a big pick out of Rebirth that you want. You're excited for it.
It's Superman. I gotta say, I'm all about Pat Gleason and Doug Mahnke and Tomasi. I mean, I want Superman with necks that are as big as Luther Strode. I want gigantic Superman. That's what's up.
And this is the Superman. This isn't. This is the Superman.
This is the return to the original true DC.
And you?
I'm gonna be honest, Superman is definitely the title that I'm most excited for. Pat Gleason just can take all of my money.
Yep.
But runner-up to that would probably be either The Flash or Blue Beetle, both of which are touched on in this book. You got the main major character coming back who's gonna affect The Flash, who I might have definitely said on a previous video was totally coming back in Titans Hunt, and I was way wrong, but not as wrong as I thought I was then. But as far as Blue Beetle goes, we've got not just Jaime Reyes, but also, I don't think I'm spoiling too much because he showed up in Forever Evil, Ted Kord is finally back, actually doing something, and he has his whole head intact, like, no holes other than normal ones, you know, nose, eyes, ears, all that stuff. But he started mentoring Jaime, and Keith Giffen's going to be writing that ongoing series with, I think, Scott Collins drawing it, which just sounds like an amazing team to me. Giffen introduced Jaime back in the day after Infinite Crisis, did his whole series. That was great. I don't know.
So get off the internet.
Excited in general.
And Morgan even, like, there was a moment he said, "Did you catch that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He went up and showed me, and I was like, and then I looked and he said, "Look at that." And then he's like, I started, but all over again. So, it's...
Yeah, just get in here. Get
here.
It. We're also offering 10% off for Advantage customers for the Justice League 50 and Superman 52. And we have these very cool little litho things for anybody that can, you know, tell us why the new 52 maybe didn't work in 10 seconds or less. But that's about it. Happy Rebirth Day, and come in and get some freaking comic books.
It's still not a reboot.
That's right.